Paris 2024 Olympics sent off by Minister Tumiso Rakari. This is BTV News interpreting on sign language. Stopo Taposa. President Dr. Mokwetsi Masisi says he's inspired by the capability of Port of Maputo and the transformation they've undergone over the years to be the gateway for both outgoing and incoming goods in the region. Speaking after the tour of the port on Wednesday, President Masisi shared that the port has improved in efficiency from the last visit. Currently, the port receives goods such as coal, cars, sugar and other cargo for neighboring countries. Botswana looks forward to do business with the port given its proximity and its capabilities. Maputo Port is run by Maputo Port Development Company, MPDC, a national private company, which is a partnership between the Mozambican Railway Company and Porters Indico, who this February saw the lease extended by government until 2058 based on a plan to expand the port capacity.
I really want to commend you. You'll be surprised, I've been past here before, not in. But what I saw was completely different from what I saw a few years ago. So I'm really inspired by what you've done and the efficiencies you've realized and your drive and commitment to making sure that you're totally transformational. I hope that we can do more business together. Right from the time I set foot in the car with my host, our company minister, where is he? Minister of Trade. We talked about potential for the port to evacuate our exports and also bring in some imports. We'll have to work together, to make sure that we can, harmonize this, particularly with our transit route through South Africa.
And President Dr. Mokwetsi Masisi has urged both citizens of Botswana and Mozambique to actively seek out a new equal opportunity from both countries, including engaging other countries to partner in the development agenda. Speaking at a state banquet last night, President Masisi said that the existing instruments of cooperation gives both countries a wide range of sectors they can engage in. Ontatile Boti has more.
Trade between Botswana and Mozambique has not been balanced and productive over the years, though the two countries enjoy good cultural relations. A pilot project was once carried out to ferry coal from Botswana through Zimbabwe, but later abandoned due to the poor railway line. Now the two leaders want a better option for increasing the volume of trade between the two countries.
Our economies hold the potential to evolve from resource-dependent to robust, knowledge-based economies. I urge our people to actively seek out new avenues of cooperation to mutually benefit our societies and our citizenry.
President Masisi is even eager to see an improved and increased partnership with others in the region to bolster trade even more.
While Botswana and Mozambique already enjoy strong bilateral relations, it remains crucial for us to collaborate with our neighboring countries to reinforce our cooperation and advance regional economic prosperity.
In addition, Mozambique wants everything to move with speed.
We need to continue to keep the pace. We have to keep running, Mr. President. Our countries have unique investment opportunities for the region and the world, and we only need to be bold. Our business people have only to be bold. Looking forward, Excellency, I see many opportunities for deepening our cooperation.
Since 2022, a number of bilateral agreements were signed to open doors for citizens of the two countries to cooperate in a number of areas such as agriculture. But through this state visit ending this Friday, leaders of Botswana, Mozambique and Zimbabwe will meet to bring to speed the Teshobanini project, which has been on the cards for many years. The project, once completed, is expected to reconfigure trade route in the region. Ontatile Boti, BTV News, Maputo, Mozambique.
Still in Mozambique, President Dr. Mokwetsi Masisi says the SADC region has resolved to put an end to the insurgency in the Cabo Delgado area. He says the region encourages dialogue on issues that might spark conflict, adding that any type of mediation as opposed to unnecessary war is most welcome. Ontatile Boti continues.
It was a welcome fit enough for President Masisi. whom around 2021 at the height of COVID-19 was flying in and out of Mozambique, working hard to bring SADC region together to help defeat insurgency in the Cabo Delgado area.
The cost of this to the people of Cabo Delgado is different from the cost of this to those who perpetrated this conflict, as it is different from the cost of those who are trading or schooling. The cost is immense.
Masisi warned those in the habit of destabilizing other countries for whatever reason to think again, especially in the SADC region.
As SADC, we resolved to try and stem this and encourage those who were destabilizing to think again, lay down their arms, and if they have an issue, get around the negotiating table, either directly with those they feel have affected them or ask for intervention by others, but not to engage in war.
As for President Nyusi, he is grateful of the countries that sacrificed to help when the situation was out of hand. Botswana was among the first countries to send soldiers to the Cabo Delgado area to assist a long-time friend.
The country sacrificed and they're still sacrificing, and not only countries that deployed forces. We had countries like Botswana, Tanzania, South Africa and Lesotho who deployed forces, but there were also countries that gave their contributions, and that was public.
Since 2017, the Cabo Delgado area was troubled by terrorist groups who sent thousands of people on foot, leaving their valuables behind, while some could not make it. But it was when the SADC standby force was quickly assembled and sent in that area that people in that region began to smell peace and security, which has been a far-fetched thing. Despite this, President Masisi shared that Botswana will be ready to assist again should a need arise to help a close friend. On Tatile Boti, BTV News, Maputo, Mozambique.
And another report by our senior journalist on Tateleboti there in Mozambique says President Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi and his counterpart President Filipe Nyusi are committed to respecting presidential term limits in their respective countries. This comes at a time when Mozambique is also expected to go to the polls this coming October, where the current president will not stand for election as he has already served 2 terms.
Mozambique goes to the polls in 3 months this coming October, where its current president, Filipe Nyusi, will no longer be eligible to stand for election as he has served already 2 terms. President Nyusi shares that he will leave a happy man as he did what he could do when he was in control.
I will try to leave the teams on the ground do their job, because sometimes you have to leave people work freely as others did to me. So I'll leave others work freely, because that is the greatest contribution we can give, other than becoming a shadow. Because if we become a shadow, we do not allow people to think and evolve.
Only President Masisi will seek re-election for a last term, but like Nyusi, he's assuring that he will respect those who will take after him, leaving them to govern without any interference.
So in my case, if I lost the election, I go home. I made that very clear. I go home in peace, and the winner of the elections will run the country. And they will not hear from me any troubling sounds or movements or intentions. But because I don't intend to, ask me that question 4.5 years from now, March 2028, I'll have an answer.
Still here in Maputo, President Masisi will also find time to visit the Hero Square, where the country's heroes and liberation icons such as Samora Machel were laid to rest. On Takile BTV News, Maputo, Mozambique.
Untatile Botite reporting from Mozambique. Meanwhile, the leadership of the 5th and the final contingent of the Botswana Defence Force troops deployed to the Southern African Development Community mission in Mozambique returned home today. Major General Simon Barobatsile, the BDF Commander Ground Forces and the Joint Forces Commander was at the airport to welcome the returning soldiers, where he touted the success of the mission in stabilizing the situation in Mozambique and thanked the nation and the President, Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi, for the support that was shown to the troops during their deployment. The Southern African Development Community mission in Mozambique, which started operations in July 2021, involved 8 countries in the region who answered the call to help Mozambique forces to in the battle against Islamist insurgents in northern Mozambique in the Gesfecand Cabo Delgado province. The other countries whose troops participated are the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, South Africa and Tanzania.
Today we came to receive the last soldiers from Cabo Delgado Theatre in Mozambique. The soldiers who arrived today are the last. There are no soldiers that have been left behind in Mozambique. That is why we decided to come to the airport to receive these soldiers, to show that our operation there has ended. They departed from Mozambique today, and this group of soldiers is made up solely of staff officers, including the Deputy Force Commander and the Head of Mission Planning and Evaluation. The last of the ground forces or war fighters arrived a week ago. These soldiers weren't able to leave sooner because they needed to wait until every part of the operation was concluded. Also, because of the cooperation efforts that were underway in Mozambique, there were civilians who were also deployed in Mozambique that were on this flight with our soldiers. These civilians worked at mission headquarters and were deployed by the SADC Secretariat.
Mission headquarters mission headquarters SADC Secretariat.
And in Francistown in Zone 6B, farmers are being prepared for a large-scale restocking exercise following its clearance as foot and mouth disease free. The EU, in partnership with SADC this week, are training farmers to have skills which will enable them to maintain the area's disease-free status. Abigail Madorobo with the details.
More than 7,000 cattle are being restocked to farmers across different areas in the district. To prepare the farmers for this restocking exercise, a workshop is currently being held in Francistown. The goal is to enhance food security and improve the quality of locally produced beef, making it suitable for both national and international markets. Our aim at the Department of Veterinary Services is to see farmers taking responsibility when it comes to controlling and fighting animal diseases. Farming is the backbone of the country's economy. Hence, we saw it fit for the government and farmers to come together in making sure that animal diseases is being prevented.
Ke mokwata wa itsholelo ya lehatshe la Botswana, ke mokwata wa itsholelo ya Motswana. Gone mo hela ka bogone go ra gore re tshwanetse ra netehatsa rata ka ditlhaloganyo tsotlhe rata ka dithata tsa rona tsotlhe re le goromente gape re le barui go netehatsa gore malwetse a ka maluruo ra ema khathano lone ra khoreletsa gore a se ka nna teng mo lehatsheng la rona gore re tere bone dikungwa tse di botoka tsa thuo.
EU SADC EPA is mandated in improving employment through value chain with a potential to strengthen women's economic empowerment.
The goal of this EPA project or implementation support program is to promote export-led economic diversification and growth, increased foreign direct investment into Botswana, improved employment in targeted value chains, of which beef is one of them, with a potential also to strengthen women economic empowerment. The program itself had 4 components. One component deals with management of the project itself. The second component deals with export diversification. Component 3, value chain development, and component 4, investment promotion.
Farmers appreciated the workshop and promised to take care of their cattle.
Expectation in this workshop. The expectation in this workshop
is to know how to curb the natural conflict of every 10 years cattle are being affected by FMD.
10 years or so, it would help us to go back there, teach people how to combat FMD.
We are happy for the workshop because we are being capacitated on how to take care of our cattle. At the end of the 3 days workshop, farmers are expected to be able to detect diseases early and also to improve food security in the country. Abigail Madorobo, BTV News, Francistown.
And if you just tuned in, this is BTV News at 9. Botswana remain resolute in her efforts to eliminate corruption in all its forms to enhance transparency, accountability and good governance. Minister of Labour and Home Affairs, Ms. Anna Mokheti, said this while officiating on behalf of the acting President, Mr. Slamba Tsokwane, at the commemoration of the African Anti-Corruption Day. Ms. Mokheti says despite good rankings which places Botswana as the 39th least corrupt country out of the 180 countries globally and the third in Africa, it is critical for the country to continually strengthen its anti-corruption framework and improve whistleblowing mechanism to achieve a corrupt-free status. Totam Matlabapiri reports.
The government of Botswana, through the Directorate on Corruption and Economic Crime, DCEC, has been at the forefront of fighting corruption. Over the years, the DCEC has made significant progress through successful investigations on numerous corruption cases, leading to conviction of individuals, including some senior public servants, who were implicated in corrupt practices. It has been 8 years since this corruption prevention body committed to commemorating this day annually, with this year's emphasis on the role played by various stakeholders, notably whistleblowers, together with other arms of government in the fight against corruption.
It is crucial that whistleblowers speak out, and as such, society has a duty to ensure that these courageous individuals are supported and protected against all manner of unfair treatment, including being sacked from work for exposing even the slightest traces of corruption. Botswana is unrelenting in the fight against corruption and has set a high standard for transparency and accountability. Over the last decade, Botswana's Corruption Perception Index score has been favorable, outperforming most of its fellow African countries.
My desire is that we succeed in achieving our objectives, that is of identifying best practices in whistleblower protection and enabling our continent and our governments to do better than we are currently doing in combating corruption.
Meanwhile, the continuous strengthening of frameworks, existing legislation, and improvement of whistleblowing mechanism to eliminate corruption remains critical.
As a country, we are yet to be in a position as to measure or interrogate the effectiveness of our whistleblowing protection framework. However, we do have the legislation in place, and we will soon be developing regulations for the effective implementation and coordination of Whistleblowing Act.
We have witnessed the amendment of the Corruption and Economic Crime Act in 2013 and in 2018. Noteworthy is that the Act is currently under review to enhance its effectiveness and compliance to international standards.
As the DCEC celebrates 30th anniversary this year, the area member of parliament for Mohoditsane said concrete actions are pivotal to show progress and promote a culture of transparency and accountability.
There is a couple of them, 31 years down the line. Mme go na le makawa na le makgarebe ba ba lekanang le nna ba ba setseng ba na le diploto di le bo 20 or even more. So let us act.
Commemoration of this day is critical in highlighting strategies and measures put in place to eliminate corruption, reflect on achievements, challenges and recommendations which will help keep up with the constantly changing and complex nature of corruption. Tlotlam Matlabapiri, BTV News, Gaborone.
And when launching the USAID Comprehensive Community Prevention and Continuum Care Program, the ambassador of the United States of America to Botswana, Mr. Howard Van Vranken, said that this program will support Botswana government efforts towards efforts towards the sustained HIV epidemic control and strengthen social services and primary health care. Horata Maranyane reports.
The United States and Botswana share a strong bilateral relationship. The relationship is grounded on a shared commitment to democracy, good governance, and human rights. The USAID Comprehensive Community Prevention and Continuum Care Program is a $17 million program that will empower local communities to take lead in combating HIV and AIDS. This program comes at a right time as Botswana has recently recorded a high number of new HIV infections.
This program will support the government of Botswana's efforts towards sustained HIV epidemic control and strengthen social services and primary health care. The United States government is dedicated to its continued support to the government of Botswana's ownership and vision towards achieving and sustaining near universal prevention and treatment coverage of HIV/AIDS. Partners and their staff are on the front lines, and they're not only saving lives, but helping to change the very fabric of society here in Botswana and indeed throughout Southern Africa.
Our launch is the culmination of several years of collaboration between USAID, PEPFAR, civil society organizations, and the Botswana Ministry of Health and National AIDS and Health Promotion Agency to meet the health needs of the people of Botswana. I also want to acknowledge as well
The Ministry of Health is committed to ensuring that primary healthcare systems are working in the country to combat HIV and AIDS.
Now, because we want to sustain, it's important that our primary healthcare system is functioning, and it will address some of the issues that was raised. I just forgot your name, the lady who was here, of stigma.
Developele Wellness Center, Stepping Stone International, and JPEGO are some of the partners selected in implementing this program. Horata Moranyani, BTV News, Gaborone.
Well, it's now time for sports with Ntebogang Sebetlela. Ntebo.
Hello, Benson. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
I'm happy
despite the
fine.
dry cough, but I'm fine. I'll be okay.
You are going to be okay. Make sure that you take a lot of warm liquids.
Warm liquids. Sober liquids.
Yes, yes, please. Thank you very much, Benson. Put on now. Botswana Tonight Sports News follows with me in Ntebogang Sebetlela. The Minister of Youth, Gender, Sports and Culture, Mr. Tumisora Karim, says the government remains committed towards supporting Team Botswana that will be competing at the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. Given the team their matching order yesterday in Gaborone, Mr. Rakari says it is their duty to ensure that elite local athletes are able to compete at the highest level. Victoria Dakin.
Rakari said as the journey to Paris 2024 Olympics had started, stakeholders must pull together in placing Botswana amongst the best.
The houses are ready. Lona loka ituma molomu wa tlase and bring those medals home. Solohetso ya rona e tsileng ha re sena go tlhongwa mo maemong a Botswana.
You just have to do your best. We promise to give each athlete who qualified for the Olympics 8,300 pula every month. They have been paid this money ever since they qualified and will be paid a further 30,000 pula each before leaving for Paris.
They will be getting 30,000 pula each tomorrow before Bayamela Bayako Paris. Elemadi Ahore, they have qualified for the Olympics.
This year marks the 12th Olympic outing for Team Botswana.
For our nation, embracing the Olympic 2020+5 roadmap means fostering a culture where every athlete, regardless of their background, has the opportunity to shine on the world stage. It signifies our dedication to nurturing talent and ensuring that our athletes are equipped with the resources and support they need to compete at the highest level.
11 males and 1 female athlete form Team Botswana, which will compete in track and field events under the athletics discipline. The team will be under the guidance of coaches Chilume Nswarang and Kiboni Mudisa Mwisimanyani. Team Botswana also comprises of 2 swimmers, Adrian Robinson and Maxine Ina, who will be under the stewardship of coach Sidingulwazi Sibanda. This will make a total of 14 athletes that will represent the blue, black and white of Botswana.
You've done a great job in preparing this team. I'm happy that together with our collaboration at the BNSC, and I hope my VC and the rest of the board will allow me to use that word, collaboration, that we have worked together in harmony to ensure that Botswana's participation at these games is seamless.
The team has been on local camp from the 4th of July as a way of preparations for the competitions, especially those who were not competing abroad. The team is scheduled to move abroad for the pre-training games camp in Europe to acclimatize ahead of the games.
Respecting and abiding by the rules which govern them, committing ourselves to sport without doping and without drugs, in the true spirit of sportsmanship, for the glory of sport and honor of our teams. Word of the evening, never give up.
Still at the same event, there was an official unveiling of Team Botswana apparel, sponsored by the Adora Clothing Company. The team left for Paris 2024 Olympic Games on Thursday for the biggest multiple sporting event in the world, slated for the 26th of July to the 11th of August. Victoria Dakin, BTV Sport, Gaborone.
Botswana Horse Race Association President Taimon Gelebeng says horse racing provides abundant value chain opportunities and have potential to grow tourism if it is taken seriously. According to Gelebeng, this could only be possible if it can get the much needed support from various stakeholders for the sport to grow. Emmanuel Rapua.
Gelebeng said horse riding has potential to grow into sports tourism since it attracts a lot of people across all age groups. He, however, said it is hindered by challenges such as lack of essential facilities like start gates for horse racing.
It is our intention gore re kgone go bona dibitsi tsa rona re setse re na le ha di tswante go bidwa go di gate start gates. Of course, we have discussed with the ministry wa Maeseke. Of course, they have approved at the moment the amount of 450,000 to get started. We will be starting to train our people.
We put aside 250,000 pula for the prize giving for this event. FMB Foundation, which I represent here, found recently that we have been doing a lot for other part of the country, but not this part of the country. Therefore, we decided that we are going to concentrate more on the part of the country. Therefore, this is not the last time you see us here.
The horse race presents a worthwhile opportunity to the business community to earn a better living.
We need to take this horse racing to another level. Tota horse racing ha jaaka we bona ke element engwe ya tourism, ke element engwe e le gore e tsisa Batswana together. Me Batswana ba khone go ta go itirela botshelo. Jaaka o bone go na le ba ba peileng ba ba rekisangse. And to develop the community ya mabutsana jaaka go ntse ha ba bonye event e tshwana le ba tsile ha batho ba tsile from all corners of this country ba ta go supporta event e tshwana le.
Much is still expected from these races to better livelihoods. As it was held in Mabutsane village, it had attracted scores of horse race lovers to come and see Solomon Ndura, who was the star of the day, winning the 2,000 meters race for the Tswana bred category with Superjet, while Western Bypass in the Thoroughbred category outpaced others to scoop the #1 spot in the 2,000 meters race. Emmanuel Rapua, BTV Sport, Mabutsane.
And lastly, the 2024 International Table Tennis Federation's Africa Hopes Week and Challenge coach Eva Yela says they're conducting a 5-day training camp in Gaborone to impart table tennis skills and education on both coaches and players. The training camp has attracted 8 African countries. Tlamelo Muntsusi and Michelle Sekopo.
The 2024 ITTF Africa Hopes Week and Challenge, which started on Tuesday, has attracted under 12 table tennis athletes who excelled in their respective regions. They're from Angola, Lesotho, Ghana, Benin, as well as host Botswana. Coach Eva Yela says they have started assessing individual players.
We just started. I got a little bit, I analyzed the players, I made some suggestions to the coaches how to work, and now we are working on the strengths and all weaknesses of each player.
What is happening during this period is that the young ones are being given the necessary skills that will be able to improve their games. Because for them to win in their regions, it shows that they are talented. So it is that talent that we want to nurture it in the right way. And that is why we've got experts also from the International Table Tennis Federation. We've got their coaches also here with them. So it is not just the young ones who are learning, even the coaches are learning from what is happening here.
Yela further highlighted that Africa needs to develop its structures.
You need good structure, you need good coaches. So it is always a question, what will happen now? That's also why I'm here, because I know what kind of structures the countries need, the players need.
In terms of development, we are learning from this expert. Everything that she does, step by step, from there, ba share se ba se ithutileng le their colleagues. It's development we appreciate it.
The 5 days training camp will end on the 14th, when athletes from both the men's and ladies category will fight for a spot to represent Africa at the ITTF Hopes Week and Challenge. The champions and runner-ups will only progress to the next stage. Michelle Sokopo, PTV Sport, Gaborone.
From Botswana Tonight, a sports desk. That was all I had for you this evening. Until we meet again tomorrow, same time. Now back to Benson to remind you of our top leading stories.
It's been a good week. Thank you so much for carrying alongside me.
Thank you very much.
I'll see you next week, precisely Wednesday.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy.
You have yourself a very nice long weekend.
I will. I'll be home. I'll be home all the way. Well, that is that. But before we part, let's take a final look at the stories making headlines. Citizens of Botswana and Mozambique challenged to lead the SADC region on issues of trade and cooperation. Farmers in Zone 6B prepared for a large-scale restocking exercise to avoid future disease outbreaks. In sports, 12 Botswana making Team Botswana for Paris 2024 Olympics sent off by Minister Rakari today. Well, that marks the end of our 9 p.m. bulletin. Up next is weather. Thank you for staying with us. We'll be parting at exactly 10 p.m. Stay with us.
Good evening and welcome to Tonight with a Focus brought to you by Samuel Ramotonto. The current satellite picture shows clear skies over the entire country. Even tomorrow, expecting clear skies over most areas of the country. In the morning, very cold temperatures are expected over southern, southeast, Gauteng, Kweni, and northeast, with the minimums of 0 in Francistown, Olifantsdrift, Gaborone, and Veda, 1 in Good Hope and Lepepe, while over the areas of the country, we're expecting cold temperatures in the morning, with the minimums ranging from 2 to 6 degrees Celsius. In the afternoon, mild temperatures are expected over Kalahari with maximums of 23 to 25 degrees Celsius, while over the areas of the country, we're expecting warm temperatures with maximums ranging from 26 to 30 degrees Celsius. And as for this coming weekend, clear skies are expected over most areas in southern, southeast, Gauteng, and Kweni, with warm afternoon temperatures on Saturday, but on Sunday, expecting mild afternoon temperatures. Over Gauteng and Kalahari, still expecting clear skies this coming weekend, with warm afternoon temperatures on Saturday, but on Sunday, expecting Mild temperatures at Khansi, while at Kgalagad we're expecting cold afternoon temperatures. Over Ngamiland and Chobe still expecting clear skies over most areas, except over some areas at Ngamiland. On Saturday we're expecting few patches of clouds to be visible, but in the afternoon temperatures will be warm in most areas. Over Central Northeast still expecting clear skies this coming weekend, with warm afternoon temperatures in most areas. That's the weather forecast. Have yourself a good night.